Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. We thought we'd have a little session on vision boarding. Vision boarding is a really great tool for getting clear on what you want and also setting up your future the way you want it to be. So if you can see it, you can feel it, you're embodying that every day, then the things that you want are more likely to come towards you. So I've been doing vision boards for many years. I first started back in, I think, about 2007 when I started studying NLP, and I was learning about how we create our reality, and the things that we put our attention on become the places that our energy flows towards. And I thought that was a really interesting concept. Now, some of you may be across that already, and to some of you, that kind of might be a new learning. So when I first discovered that, it took me a while to really kind of get my head around that. And over the years since then, I've been refining and perfecting and learning more and more about how that happens, and how thoughts become things. So using a vision board is one really great way to help your thoughts become the things in your life. And this, I think, is important to understand. When you're focused on the things that you want, you're really actively inviting those things in your life. And the distinction there is things that you want, as opposed to things that you don't want. So if you're thinking to yourself or saying to yourself, and it can be quite easy to do when you operate on autopilot, and sometimes you might catch yourself saying, "Oh, I can't afford that," or "Oh God, I haven't got any work," or "I'm so overloaded," or I'm sick of being, something. Well, all of those things unconsciously are feeding into your system. So your thoughts and your words become your actions and your behaviors, which becomes the results that you get. So if you're focusing on things that you don't want in your life, well, then likely you'll just get more of what you don't want. Whereas if you're focusing on things that you want, you're opening up the channels for those things to come into your life. You're actively inviting those into your life by the pure process of thinking about them. There are some other steps, it's not just walking around thinking happy thoughts all day. There are some other steps that we need to go through to actually make that happen. But this is absolutely ground zero. This is the starting point. Focus on things that you want. Okay, so here's an example of a vision board that I created. And the sorts of things that whatever you're going to have on your vision board is going to be different to mine and different to probably everyone else here, because it's about what you want in your life. So this was one that I did actually when I was looking through my files. This was one that I did back in 2016. And when I look around that, most of the things in there are in my life. I have had great travel opportunities. I've got great friends. I've got a partner that I love and who loves me and supports me. I've got money coming in. I've got the opportunity to drink Veuve Clicquot on several occasions, which is always nice. So it's a good way of having that reminder, and set front and centre in there are the fabulous colour swatches that, as you know, Evelyn and I have been working on for many years. So, that's all of these things are things that I have brought into my life through identifying them and focusing on them. So I'm going to go through, as we run through this, I'm going to show you some different ways that you can create vision boards. But first off, we're going to have a look at 5 things that you need to do before you even make a vision board. So it's all very exciting to, get the magazines out or get onto an app or Pinterest or something and start creating something. But if you haven't really set the foundations of what you're creating, then the universe doesn't know what you want to attract into your life. If you're not very clear on what you're seeking, then you're just going to receive a whole bunch of stuff because your thoughts are all over the place and you're not focusing that attention. So let's have a look. One of the things that is really important is first, reflect on what you've already accomplished. This is a great little exercise to get your head in the space to start thinking about what else you want to accomplish. So sometimes it's easy, and particularly in this current climate where there's, you know, doom and gloom, and we might be feeling upbeat one day and completely deflated the next. Sometimes it can be challenging to get your head into thinking about the future and thinking that things are not always going to be like they are at the moment, and there is a horizon that we can journey towards that is going to be better than today. So first I'd like you just to reflect on what you've already accomplished, and a great way to do this is to get a piece of paper. I'm a very digital girl. I use a lot of apps and technology, as anyone here knows, but this is a really good pen and paper exercise. Get a notebook, a piece of paper, a whiteboard, something or other. The reason why this works with pen and paper, because there's also a physical element to it. It's thinking something, it's your thoughts flowing through you out onto the paper, and it is energizing. So I'd like you to reflect on really great things that you've already accomplished. It might be you've built a business from scratch. It might be that you've retrained from or changed career from one thing to the other successfully. It might be that you've moved into a fabulous new home or about to. It might be that you have attracted, you know, a wonderful partner into your life. So what sorts of things have you already accomplished? Because this sets the tone and reminds you that you are powerful, valuable, worthwhile, successful, capable, all of those sorts of things. All right. And then I'd like you to think about the direction that you'd like your life to take next. So build on what you've already accomplished. So I've accomplished this. Where else would I like to go? What sorts of things would I like to bring into my life? And this could be, you might want to do this by dividing up your life into sections. So relationships, career, finances or wealth, health and wellness, emotional, spiritual, whatever categories work for you. Or you might just want to kind of just start doing a stream of consciousness and writing down some of the things that you'd like to bring into your life. And once you've done that, so that's working from a very large bucket or big picture point of view. Once you've done that, it's time to get really specific. So here, it's about looking through that list and really nailing down what specifically do you want to change about what's happening now. Perhaps you'd like to improve your health and fitness. Perhaps you'd like to attract more love into your life. Perhaps you'd like to attract more money into your life. What sorts of things would you actually specifically like to change? And after that, it's about identifying what's holding you back. So this is not necessarily a negative, it's just taking a little reality check. So getting really honest with yourself. If these are the things that you want in your life, what's actually stopping you from getting them? And it's going to be different for everyone. Maybe it's you don't think you've got the time. Maybe you don't think you've got the financial resources. Maybe you don't think you've got the support of your family or your friends or your partner or whatever. What is it for you that's holding you back from achieving everything that you want? And if there are things that come up here that might be limiting beliefs, then there are some other techniques that we would use to look at those and unpack those and overcome those, which we can go through, not necessarily to do with vision boards, but we can talk about that down the track if that's something that people would like to do. And what would you be doing if you had unlimited resources? So if you had all the time, money, support, access, whatever it is, what would you be doing? This is your real, let's get into the real big picture stuff. What would just make your heart sing, your world light up? What would make you leap out of bed every morning and just go, oh my God, my life is amazing. This is so awesome. What would you be doing? So these are the sorts of things that once you've done those, then we can actually start on the vision board, because you're setting some structure and some foundations around it. Okay, now we move on to the tools. Using the right tools. So this is important because it can make the process really easy, or with the wrong tools, it can make the process really frustrating. And it's something that if you don't pick the tools that are going to suit you, then it can be a very stop-start process. So you can find yourself in the situation of getting all energized and ready to do it, and then finding that the tools that you're trying to use to do that are actually holding you back or hampering you. So are you a paper person or a digital person? Some people prefer to do this by finding imagery and cutting it up and literally sticking it on a board. And that's where the vision board originally began, was a bit of cardboard or a bit of paper or a bit of something stuck up with all your images and words and whatever you want to put on there on the board. You might not be a paper person, you might be a digital person like me. So I use a digital process because I can quickly just find images online, copy them and insert them into my vision board, and I can create text and I can move them around and I can give some things focus and other things, depending on what's the priority. And then I can change those around from time to time, because of course our life isn't static, it changes. And our goals and our wants and our needs and our desires are constantly evolving as well. And the other thing is, you might find that you get to a point where you've achieved everything on your vision board and it's time to start a new one. And that's always a fabulous feeling, to look through it and think, oh, tick, done, yes, done that, done that, done that. So opportunity to move things around and evolve it. So if you are, well, I'm going to run through some of the apps or tools that you might use, but if you're using a digital process, there are several places that you can source images from. You can go to free stock libraries such as Unsplash or Pixabay or Pexel. You can go into Canva and use some of the images that are already there. You can go into PicMonkey and use some of the images that are already there. Or you might have imagery that you have, photos of you or your friends or family or things that you want in your phone or stored on your computer that you can use as well. So some of the apps and tools I'm going to show you will allow you to import your own images, and some of them you just use what is built into the app. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. So this one is Pinterest. So if you're a Pinterest user, this is a great tool for image consultants anyway. It's a great tool that you can use for clients, and you could do mood boards, so not a vision board, but you could do a mood board for a client, or get a client to create their own mood board in Pinterest to start identifying their style preferences. But in this case, I've used this as a vision board. Now, I have to say, Pinterest is not my preferred tool for doing this, because I feel it limits, and this is just my personal preference, but it limits me because of the way the screen is set up. That grid pattern and only giving me the ability to have things a similar size and in a very grid placement doesn't really work for the way that my brain works. I find that I am a very organized, structured person, but in this case, I find that too kind of structured and rigid. for my tastes and preferences. But for some people, it might be something that you're really familiar with and something that you think would be good to use. With Pinterest, of course, you can source images. So you can be on the internet, so you could do a Google search on images, you could be on a particular site, and of course you can pin that to your board in Pinterest. In Pinterest, you can keep your board secret. So you can see up the top of my screen here, this is a secret board because this is personal. I don't want to share this with everyone. It's just for me. I can print this out and pin this up somewhere if I wanted to. But I can clip and save images from wherever I like. So a lot of these are kind of quotes and motivational messages, and a few images splashed in and around. So Pinterest is one option. This is another option. We're going to have a very quick look at this. This is something called Dream It Alive. And this is an app you can sign, it's free. You have to join or register, but it's free to do. So I'm just going to take you through very quickly some of the elements of this one. In this one, Dream It Alive is, it's more about visualization really than a vision board. So it gives you the opportunity to create what they call a dream board, and you can clip or pin different things onto that dream board, and then you can use that to set up creative visualizations, because part of the process of having a vision board is actually to visualize. So that it's not just about creating a pretty collage that you just stick somewhere and never look at. It's about creating what you want and then looking at it every day or a couple of times a day and taking just a few minutes to visualize those things coming into your life and becoming real. So this can be quite good if you would like to do more of a visualization type process. This is one called, this is again another one that's a little bit more of like a visualization app. This one's called Visu app, and it only works on, so the other one you can use on a desktop computer or on iOS or Android. This one does work on Android and iOS, but you can't use it on your desktop. So it's only for your phone or your tablet or some device like that. And in this one, you go in and you create what they call your dreams. So again, a grid-like setup. So you can come in, there are categories. So these categories down here on the bottom row, the car, the strawberries, and the girl, are pre-populated categories in the app, within the app. But you can click on any one of those and substitute your own photo in there. And what that also does is, so in this, so this image on the right is this image in the middle here that I've clicked on and expanded. So when you're in your app, you click on the image and it will expand up. And down the bottom of this image, you can see here, oh, I'm sorry, keep skipping ahead. You can create your own text or affirmation. So my affirmation for that image is, my friends and family support my dreams. So this one I also quite like because it gives you some structure for visualizing. So in this one, you actually can set up, so you can set some music to whatever image it is that you want to focus on. And you can see up here, there's a little clock symbol on the top left. That is a little timer that you can set a time. So on each one of your images, a time to visualize. So it will give you a reminder and it will give you a little counter to spend some time, you know, visualizing and thinking on and activating that particular image. So it's quite nice for that purpose. The downside of this one is it will only let you upload imagery that is already on your phone or your device. So it accesses your photo library on your phone or device to draw the images from. So if you want to, if you've got images stored somewhere else and you want to bring them into here, you will first have to get them onto your phone or device before you can bring them in to this app and use them. This is going back to the one that I created. So I'm going to escape out of slide viewer mode for a minute and just show my active screen. So in this one, this is PowerPoint. So and I think this, for me, this is the best solution for a vision board, because I can bring in photos from everywhere. It's stored on my hard drive, or things I just copy and paste if I do a Google image search. And usually anyone that knows me will tell you that I'm really big on copyright and licensed images and not using images from other people. In this situation, this is my own personal thing. I'm not sharing this other than with you. So there are some images on here that I have just literally done a Google image search and copy and pasted into here. So I haven't attributed them, because this is not designed for anyone else other than me. So this one, I can move things around. You know, the beauty of this is that I can, you know, have them how I want them. I can create, so this is just some text that I've created. I can overlay that. I can change the color of that. I can change the font of things to give me, you know, something different there. I can make it bigger or smaller to emphasize things or de-emphasize things. And I can rotate images around, so I don't, you know, before I was talking about that grid option, and Pinterest is just kind of very grid-like and standard. In this one, I like my images to look a little bit more like a collage. So this is to me the closest thing you can get to cutting things out of a magazine or things and pasting them onto a board. So I've done this in PowerPoint. I can print this out, of course, and have it up on my wall somewhere so that I can see it every day. But what I do with this is I actually use it as my screensaver. So so it pops up every time my computer goes into screensaver mode. And I find that actually really good, because often I'm in between tasks because I'm not actively using that computer, and I look over and I think, oh yes, there's all those things that I'm wanting to bring into my life. So that's a good way to use it, the way I use it. So that's PowerPoint. I'm going to go back to slideshow view now. Any questions so far? No? Okay. And then, of course, there's good old magazines. Scissors, glue, magazines, big bit of cardboard, cut out some images, paste them on, create some text, paste it on, you know, however way you want it. All right. So what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you create. So this is about identifying the things that you would like to be in your life and bringing them into your life. A nice little quote from Buddha. So I would like to do now a little guided meditation. So I've shown you some of the tools and some of the techniques that you could use to create your vision board. We've spoken about the foundation or the structure, the things that you need to think about before you start creating your vision board. And now I'd just like to kind of do a little mindset exercise, because it is about mindset, to help you get in the frame of mind to think about your vision board. Because what I hope out of this session, and I hope one of the reasons that you've attended this session is that you would like to create your own vision board, and you would like some information about how you go about doing that. So I would hope between this week and next week that you can at least make a start on that. And then next week, I'd actually like to get back together and have a bit of a review of that, talk about what you found. You don't have to share your vision board with us unless you'd like to. You might want to do that. You talk about what you found, how you found the exercise, whether you thought it was easy, difficult, etc. What the process was like for you. And then I'm going to give you some hints and tips on how you can actually really activate that even further and really help bring those things into your life. So just raise your hand if you're open to having a few minutes of a little guided meditation visualization process. Yeah? Okay, good. Well, let's do it. So for this, all I need you to do is just, we're going to close our eyes, everyone but me, because I'm going to be reading you something. But you're going to close your eyes, and I'm just going to walk you through some steps to thinking about the life that you would like to create for yourself. So how does that sound? Good? Okay. All right, so first of all, I just need you to take a couple of deep breaths in and out. In and out. I want you to just feel the chair that you're sitting on. Notice your surroundings. Feel the room that you're in. If you can hear any little outside noises going on, that's okay. Just notice those, but let them drift on by. Feel yourself sitting there. Listen to the sound of my voice. This is all about you. So it's just about relax. Remember to keep breathing in and out and just follow along. Okay, so your life is created first in your mind and then in the world. Will your life look exactly as you picture it now? Possibly not. But will it be even better than what you imagine? Possibly so. So the purpose of identifying what you want to bring into your life is so that you can activate the energy that creates that. So now I'm going to ask you to play along and just imagine something with me. I'd like you to imagine that it's your 100th birthday. You're having a huge party. All your friends and family are there. Everyone that you love in your life has come to help you celebrate this momentous milestone. And you're walking through that party. You're wearing an amazing outfit. You look fabulous. You're so happy to see everyone there, everyone come to celebrate and support you. And as you walk through, you can see certain people in your life that might have really been significant for you or helped you or supported you in some way. So you can smile at them and acknowledge them and just feel the joy that they have in being here at your big, big event. So keep on walking through. Feel free to stop and have a little chat with significant people and ask them how they're doing, why they've come along, what sorts of things they'd like to share with you about the meaning that you have had in their life. So what impact have you had on them? And keep walking through and you'll see so many people that have been involved in your life, all of your supporters, all of these people that are here to just celebrate and acknowledge you. And you may see people in the crowd that you think that you've really helped in your life. And you may also see people that you wonder, wow, I didn't think I'd see them again, or I wonder what they're doing here. I didn't realise that I had an impact on their life. And I'd like you to talk to a couple of those people, the couple of people that you think is really surprising that they're there. And I'd like you to just ask them, why did you come along? What difference did I make in your life that you wanted to come and celebrate this huge event? And just listen to what they have to say without any judgment, without any filtering. They've got some wonderful things to share with you. And then you'll come across the people that have been your major supporters, the people that you just couldn't have done everything that you've done without them. So I'd like you just to find out from them, what difference did you make in their life? What did you bring to them that they didn't have before they met you? Perhaps they were people that worked with you. Perhaps there were friends and family that you've had an impact on their lives. So just take a minute or two to find out from them why they're here and any messages that they might have for you, something they'd like to tell you. I'm just going to let you wander for a minute or two through the crowd, talking to the people, getting their input. That's right. Keep moving through, seeing all these amazing faces. All right, and when you've spoken to all the people that you wanted to talk to, make your way to the centre of the room where there's an amazing birthday cake for you. What a beautiful creation that is. How thoughtful someone was to organise this for you and celebrate your birthday. So I'd like you just to admire that beautiful cake for a moment and just think about all the love and support that you have from all the people in this room. Okay, and then I'd like you to blow out the candles, take a deep breath, and slowly open your eyes and come back to me. Whenever you're ready. Okay, so how amazing was that? Were there lots of people at that awesome party that wanted to share with you everything that you've done for them and every joyful thing and good thing that you've brought into their life? Okay, so celebrate it. That's you. That's your life that you have created. That is your life that you deserve. All of those amazing things are things that you've shared with people, you've developed with people, they've brought to you, you've brought to them. So part of the next steps for your vision board is actually noting some of those down. So after this call, while they're still fresh-ish in your mind, you might want to make some notes about some of the things that people told you. What do they actually let you know about the impact that you've had on them and the things that you've helped them with in their life? And they're some of the things that are going to help you identify the things that you need to create in your life, because without creating those, you can't have helped all of those people and had that impact on their lives. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of this. We're going to, next week, we're going to do a bit of a review. So if you get the opportunity, it would be wonderful if you could go and start creating a vision board using whatever tools work for you to start getting down these thoughts. If you don't have time to actually do that between now and when we check in again, then perhaps it's a good opportunity just to start identifying some of the things that you would like to get onto your vision board, and we can have a talk about those. But if you do have an opportunity to do it, there's no time like the present. Any questions?
Emma, that was fantastic. Really enjoyable. And it was, you know, taking some time out like this, just even to reflect on, you know, the people that we've met in our lives. I did a vision board many years ago, and it was really amazing. I put down, it was the paper scissors cutout version, and I can tell you this, that it was a bit of a surprise because I just went through the motion of doing it, but it were the things that I wanted to attract in my life. So I put them all down on this board and stuck them out with glue and things like that. And after the course, I went home and I rolled it up and I put it away. And I think it might have been about 4 years later, maybe 3 years later, I ran into a woman in Chatswood in the Westfield. And it was a real surprise because I didn't really remember her very well. But she said to me, "Oh, Evelyn, you know, it's great to see you." And I couldn't even remember her name. And she said to me, "Did you get all the things that you wanted on your vision board?" I said, and it sort of tweaked then as to when I had remembered her. And she actually worked with me. We worked together on our vision boards. And I said, "Well, you know, what do you mean?" And I couldn't even remember what I had on the vision board. She said, "The house in Lura, and the fireplace, and the car, and the new camera, and the new wardrobe. You know, all your clothes and things like that." And it was a time that I had been going through with a divorce that had seen me right down to rock bottom when I did that vision board. And
I know, this is very powerful stuff. You can see, you know, I think we all have had some reaction, and even me. You know, this is very powerful emotional stuff, and that's the beauty of it, because it activates what we want in our lives. Those feel, I actually encourage those. So when I'm working with a client and we're doing some one-on-one coaching and some stuff like this,
I went back to my board, I found it, and everything, not just a couple, everything. I had the house, I had the new wardrobe, I had the new camera, I had the new car, a little red Mercedes, little A-Class, which was great. I couldn't believe it.
Truly, this is powerful stuff. It seems, you know, some people can look at this and go, this it's just, you know, sticking bits of paper to a bit of cardboard and making pretty collages. But when you actually do it with an intention, you give it your energy and your attention, what shows up in your life is really amazing. So thank you for sharing that little tidbit with us, and it just goes to show that this works. So one of the things I'd like to say before we kind of, I guess, wrap up on this is, don't get too attached to the very specific outcome. So while you are actually putting images onto your vision board and creating images and things that you would like to bring into your life, don't get too attached to a couple of things. Don't get attached to how it's going to happen, because how it happens is nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. Don't try and turn the levers and flick the switches and drive that and force that to come into your life. It will come into your life. The second thing on that is, I always love to say this or something better. So just because I've put this thing down doesn't mean that I've closed the door to something even better.
Yeah.
So giving that energy to your board, this or something better. Let's leave the door open, because how amazing would that be? Okay, any questions?
Emma, that was a great session. Thank you. And great reminder as to how very powerful this whole process is. And I look forward to next week. And to see
my homework. This is going to be fun homework.
It is fun homework. This is really, it really, and if you're in a bit of a, dark spot at the moment, this is a great exercise. If you can get your head in the space where you can start thinking about the future and looking outward and looking upward, this is a really good exercise to start reinforcing and creating that lovely positive energy around you. All of those things that you'd like to achieve, gives you that little zing to kind of change your mindset at the time that you're doing it. And who doesn't love that? All right, well, thanks for playing along, girls. Hope that was enjoyable. And we look forward to seeing you again next week and having a little check-in, and then doing a bit of fine tuning to activate that even more.